Okay. This is just a quick recording I'm going to do of a story that I have for all you guys. It's mainly to do with my thoughts on the Calgary Expo thing. Now, obviously, everybody knows the information. Everything that's going on has been more or less done to death, so I don't really need to go into that. However, I would like to say that there is something about it that hit too close to home in a lot of ways. What I mean by this is that when this the information came out that the honey badgers were kicked out of the Calgary Expo purely because of their ideological reasons, because obviously the honey badgers are a bunch of MRAs, which is men rights activists, and they were on a discussion panel with a bunch of feminists, from what I hear. So obviously they were kicked out for that reason. And this in and of itself is one thing, and obviously there's a lot of crazy messed up things that happened, and you know lots of frustration, lots of things exchanged. What this reminded me of is that when it comes down to it, all the stuff people say about fairness, the facade, the facade, whatever you want to call it, of order and equality and balance people seem to tell you about is BS, because all it takes is someone's word about this or that person being harassed, or this person being a harasser, or whatever. It's the same thing, different day. Now, I'm not going to go as far to say it's gamergate, blow for blow. Of course it's not. But a lot of us know that what happened with gamergate was a bunch of gamers standing up for their rights, standing up for wanting good ethics in journalism, and being ostracized and demonized and told all these horrible things. But it's more than that, you see. Let me share this personal story. This is something I don't tell anybody, but this is one of those times where I feel like I need to say it. This is I realized a long time ago the horrible truth of how all it takes is someone's word. Someone's word. In this case, the word of women, effectively, to turn someone into a monster, basically. Now, I was born in Ghana, right? Ghana in Africa, that is. And I attended one of the schools there. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to mention any specific details, but I attended one of the schools. This was a primary school. This was a very long time ago. And I recall on a day like many other days, I was with a bunch of friends at the time, and we were just, I think, playing around, just having fun, as you always do, right? Now I recall seeing a bench. There was a bench in one of like the areas, the courtyard area, and there was a bunch of girls sitting there. And when we first saw them, we thought, oh, they're sitting there. That's fine. We can't do anything about that. So we came back later, and we noticed the girls were gone. So we thought, okay, that's perfect. Great. Let's sit down. So we had to sit down, right? And after about 10 minutes or so, the girls came back, and they're like, why'd you take our seat? And we're like, take your seat. No, we sat here because you'd left, right? And they're like, no, you should move. And it's like, move? No, I mean, we can move like over. You can sit with us, but we're really tired. We're doing a bunch of activities, so we're trying to take a rest, right? And they're like, no, it's our seat. And we're the point we're trying to make is that no, it can't be your seat. This is a public seat. This is a school seat. We're all trying to sit here and chill out, whatever, right? But so feeling dejected, they just walked away. And at the time, we're just thinking, I don't know what their problem was. I mean, they left this seat to go somewhere. It's not like they own it, right? I mean, obviously, I'm paraphrasing. This was a long time ago, but obviously, we sat there. It was fine. Here's what happened. Suddenly, the teachers come to us and they're telling us that you're going to be caned for harassing some girls. And we were like, what? Mind you, let me explain something. In African countries, a lot of African countries, including Ghana, like in schools, you get caned. And by caned, we mean whipped with a, I don't know, a stick made out of wood, basically, like a cane. And it was a way of disciplining students, it was a way of keeping students in line. Whereas I'm sure people in the Western world might have their ideas about it. That's how it was back then. Probably how it is right now. People, you know, kids in schools would get caned for being bad or for being wrong or just whatever reason the teachers gave. I mean, I admit it was somewhat barbaric, it was scary, but that's how the thing was. But here's the thing: those girls that we had told that we didn't, we what's the name? We wanted to sit down, and we had apparently stolen their seats. Went to tell the teachers that we had harassed them, not that we'd taken their seat, not that we didn't want to share the seat. No, they told them that we had harassed them, and because of that, we were going to be caned. Not just caned in front of the whole school. Mind you, anything in front of the whole school is complete and utter public shame. It's a nightmare because that's pretty much the end of your social life. And this is something that basically, as a kid, terrified me. It would mean that I would lose all social standing with my friends. It would mean my parents would find out and they'd be utterly disappointed in me. They'd think I was a problem child. It would mean that for the rest of my time in that school, the teachers would have contempt for me. And this whole time I was thinking, all this based on their word. They had zero evidence. The only people who knew what happened were my friends and those girls. And the teachers just took the girls' word for it. And mind you, so this was going down, right? A lot of things were happening, and I was absolutely terrified that they were going to do something so horrible to us because it wasn't the pain. I mean, obviously, being caned in and of itself is a horrible feeling, but being caned in front of the school for such ridiculous reasons, based on nothing but their word, zero evidence, zero facts, zero asking the people involved, just oh, a bunch of boys are harassing girls, cool, let's cane them in front of the whole school. That's what was going to happen. Now, through some luck, they realized miraculously that the punishment of caning a bunch of boys in front of the whole school was a bit too much. And they thought, okay, fine, we won't do it. So they gave us different disciplinary action. The fact that this was even considered, the fact that they told us this, the fact that they believed these girls in the first place just blew my mind. Mind you, this wasn't the last time. I had been in several incidents in my life where all it took was the word of some woman to damn near convict me of some heinous thing. So you see, when I found out about this Calgary Expo thing, and I saw that all it took was the word of a bunch of women, as far as I'm concerned, and men, obviously, this isn't just women. All it took was the word that these people are harassers, these people are misogynists, these people are, are hate group, hate speech, etc., etc. I saw that same thing in action, listening to feels, listening to emotions, not logic, not proof, not any of that. Just pointing the finger and saying, these people are monsters, go get them. And that's what disturbed me. Because at the end of the day, we may put all these laws and these guidelines and all this stuff in the way, but if all it takes is the word of a bunch of people saying that this group is a bunch of monsters, that the honey badgers are people are a hate group, or gamergate is a hate group, or gamers are a hate group, or people who like comics are a hate group. That's all it takes. What kind of freaking world are we living in? What kind of freaking world are we living in when facts, reason, logic doesn't matter because all it's going to take is someone's word? What's the point of due process? And you're seeing it in universities with these rape cases. And there was the whole Rolling Stone incident. They just took the word of someone, zero proof, zero fact, zero evidence. What did this do? Completely messed up the campus, completely messed up the fraternities. Complete hoax, but everyone listened to it. Why? Oh, because something might have happened. So the very thought that a woman might have been hurt, might have been, is enough to ruin someone's life. That my life was nearly ruined for that reason. That the honey badgers were kicked out for that reason. Like, that's all it takes. People need to sit on that and think for a second. That if this is the world we're creating, where all it takes is someone's word, that something like Gamergate and the incidents within it, where people will believe hook, line, and sinker that an entire group of thousands of gamers in the world are dirty misogynists and harassers, all because some woman told you so. So you don't look it up, you don't pick up the facts, you don't do any research yourself. Oh no, some woman's being harassed. It must be true. Please, People, do you see what's happening here? I'm just going to leave it at that. That's my personal story. I've experienced that kind of thing firsthand, and it's happened multiple times. And to see this happen with the honey badgers and to be reminded of Gamergate, and mind you, people keep saying that, it's just internet drama, blah, blah, blah. But I'm reminded of that case that I read where somebody was doxxed by some 16-year-old girl, some 16-year-old feminist girl, saying all this stuff like she's gonna expose him to his family for being a horrible misogynist. And this guy ended up getting into contact with her, and he asked her, "Why would you do this? Why are you doing this?" And this girl was tearful and sad, and she said, "Because I thought I was being a good feminist." Can you believe that? This person, this young girl, was led to attack this guy based on nothing but the simple idea that this person might be a monster. This is what happened with Gamergate. They said that these bunch of people, these bunch of gamers, and these non-women and these non-minorities are a bunch of harassers and misogynists. Therefore, treat them like horrible monsters, and that's exactly what people did. See, people in general, I wouldn't call them sheep, I wouldn't call them mindless, but unfortunately, most people have a good moral center, but they're being manipulated into thinking that this or that group is horrible. Therefore, they will feel justified in treating them like monsters, and that's exactly what's happened. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time either. So, whereas I don't want to go beyond like just talking about this in general, see, when it comes down to it, people need to understand that you think what you want about the mess that is Gamergate, the controversy that is Gamergate. Think what you want about the honey badgers and their opinions as MRA. Think what you want about all of that, but you need to understand that things are being done based on nothing but someone's word. Think about that. It's not about opinions. It's not about politics. It's not about who's being used as a figurehead here. No, people are having their lives affected based on being called a bunch of names and the things being said. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, that's my personal story, and unfortunately, that's the reality. So the terrifying truth of what happened at Calgary Expo is that this kind of thing happens all the time, and nobody cares to even stop it.